Welcome to the wild south of Western Australia. Nearly 600 kilometres in low range four-wheel driving. Some of the most rugged terrain you could ever experience, along with breathtaking scenery and epic locations that most people have never heard of and will never see. This region is remote. From Israelite Bay to Twilight Cove, across the vast salt lakes, and nearly 100 kilometres of treacherous, unpredictable beach parallel to the Bilbunya Dunes, followed by a climb up and over the rugged and rough Baxter Cliffs, which has often claimed tyres, vehicles and lives.
He was shot in his swag.
Followed by the testing trail to Twilight Cove, considered by some to be the best place in Australia you could roll out a slag. This is super remote, it is epic.
We arrived into camp late last night due to helping two gentlemen who rolled the vehicle 40 kilometres into the track.
Literally it was fine, and then all of a sudden, bang, there's ruts, deep ruts, and just bellied out and just started sliding.
This really hit home how remote this area is and how much we need to rely on each other.
Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Let's assess. Well, that was our good deed done for the day. I spoke to the lads, they are absolutely stoked.
We still have 600 kilometres ahead of us. The deeper we get, the more isolated we are. Right now, we are at Israelite Bay, just the beginning of our epic expedition, even though we are already 100 kilometres from civilization. This morning we are quite spent and the day is already ahead of us.
We got up pretty late this morning at Israelite Bay.
We are just over 100 kilometres from the Bilbunya Dunes, this being our next destination, if we can make it.
Before we can get to the Bilbunya Dunes, we've got to get across the vast salt lakes, and they've had so much water here. Hopefully we can cross the salt lakes. If we can't, we're going to have to find an alternative route, which I hope we don't have to, because it's going to take so much longer. Let's get some brekkie in and hit the road. You know it's a good meal when you're scraping every drip.
There is one special place I want to share with Travis and Sean. The Israelite Bay Telegraph Station. But before that,
On our way to the telegraph station, we're going to do a slight detour and show you why a particular 23-year-old never made it to the telegraph station. This is one of the many salt lakes around Israelite Bay. Some of these we're going to have to cross. We've got no choice in the direction that we're going. This particular one, a 23-year-old student got bogged out here all alone, had no phone reception. He left the vehicle and walked 60 k's to try and get help. A farmer drove past him and he got lucky. There's a lot of breakdown stories out in this region. You've really got to be careful. If you're going to travel out here, sat phone is a good idea to have. If you get stuck, stay with your vehicle. Telegraph station, you guys are going to love this.
Look at that.
Mate, this thing looks amazing.
Hey guys, come in here. I reckon this is where the messages came in, and then they handed it to a telegraph guy.
You get a message.
So we have an urgent telegram from the Weary Wagon Crew.
Howdy, Israelite Bay folks. Our forces decided to stage a midnight protest on the trail. They're on a hunger strike, we reckon. So here we are, in the dark, trying to negotiate with them. If you can rustle up some grub for both us and these four-legged companions, we'd be jolly thankful. We'll save our horsetails for tomorrow. Yours in wrangling woes, the Weary Wagon.
I'm very sure that didn't happen.
Hey, if it was one of Ronnie's relatives, anything could happen.
alright, jokes aside, in the late 1800s, this telegraph station and its line was a massive achievement.
Before this was established, they had to rely on horseback riders from Adelaide.
News and messengers would have been 2 weeks old by the time it would have arrived. That's a long time to wait. The crazy fact is, this telegraph line and station operated for 50 years until 1927. That's not even that long ago. Well, actually, it's quite a while ago. This really tells you how disconnected WA was and how remote WA still is now.
This place is huge.
There were 150 people working here. Being a line worker would not have been an easy job. Small graves tell the stories from the past. People back then had to be tough. You guys lost?
Mate, it's like a rabbit warren.
This telegraph line is the sole reason why you can four-wheel drive from one side to the other. Had it not been for this, there'd be no tracks going through. Speaking of tracks, the one we're about to take leads us right through multiple risky salt lakes, which at times are impassable, and the only way to find out is to drive there.
Alright guys, this is what I refer to as the roller coaster ride on the way to the Salt Lakes, and then beyond the Salt Lakes we got the Bill Bunya Dunes. Part of the track from Israelite Bay to Bill Bunya Dunes is very rough. It's very slow going. If you're lucky, you can do about 20 kilometers per hour. But honestly, for the most part, when you're on the rocky stuff, it's not even registering on the speedometer. There are bits in between, you can go 40 on the sand dunes and that, but it's very slow going. So if you're gonna do this stretch, plan ahead for a long day. Onwards we go.
Go through all right, mate?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. A little bit sideways on the way out.
You're right to come through now, Sean.
We reckon guys, I'm getting pretty hungry.
You will see my creation if you stop.
What do we got there, Sean?
We got marinated lamb leg with potatoes and of course my special spices.
Oh, honestly, Sean, good job, mate.
Thanks, mate.
You put this in the oven this morning, straight after breakfast. This is fantastic. Hey, Sean, I just want to say, thanks for dinner, mate. It was great.
No worries, mate. My pleasure. Anytime, Roddy.
Hey, we should put breakfast on now.
Guys, this is the first official salt lake or clay pan. Many more to come. That one looked a little bit wet, but not too bad. However, we may experience some that are going to be ankle deep, but hopefully not. This is the first telegraph pole we have seen standing on the way through. We're miles away from Bill Bunya, so we're way behind schedule. Those other salt lakes coming up, they're more likely to have the water in them. They can be a little bit sketchy. I don't really want to rush through. The last thing I want to be is stuck in the mud in the middle of a salt lake in the middle of the night because we couldn't see which way to go. So camp in the dark will have to happen pretty soon. I think they'll be happy about that. Get the camp early. Definitely getting a bit wetter as we go, which is a slight concern for what's coming up. And there are no wheel tracks in front of us. We are all alone out here, very reliant on each other. So if anything should go wrong, we'll call upon the next vehicle.
If you encounter a salt lake like this and you know and you can see that all the traffic goes through there, do not under any circumstances try and go around, because if you do, I guarantee you, you will sink. You will definitely sink. Even when it's dry, if you go off the track on a salt lake, that's when you're at risk. Evidence of people trying to go around and they've just been sinking. And you never know. This track's only just been opened days ago to prove my theory. It's quite soft there. On the edge of this track, it's also soft. But if you go right in the middle, it's solid as a rock. That is the best spot. Now you can't go too fast though. If you go too fast and your wheel clips the edge, you risk sliding sideways and then you're going to end up off the track in trouble. Slow and steady, wins the race as always in most four-wheel driving. Second gear low. I'm just going to keep putting along to get to the other side. Let's get the job done.
Feels pretty firm, guys, like I was saying.
Salt Lake in the dark.
Yeah, I reckon he will make it.
You slowing down at the end there, or?
I'm slipping a little bit.
No, he's good, he's good.
I do recommend when you guys come through, just maybe third low, but low revs.
Getting my Troopy to the other side is a very reassuring sight for Travis and Sean.
I was getting a little bit of slip there, but it's good.
Alright, that's 2 through. Just watch your brakes.
Come on through, Sean.
I think Sean's having way too much fun on his crossing. Salt water is very conductive and this can lead to electrical problems. And that's exactly what just happened. Water got into the relay and started shorting out things.
Yeah, well, I was next to Ronnie and I said, what the f is that? I was smoking.
It's smoldering because the relay got wet. Got some medicine for your car.
Knowing exactly where our tools were, we were able to swiftly cut the wires, preventing any further electrical damage.
A MIDI fuse holder.
I'll
just
fix that on
it.
cam tomorrow morning, you know. At least it will take me 10 minutes, mate.
That was the least of our worries. Right now, we're in the thick of it. Some salt lakes require commitment through the centre.
Sean, you can leapfrog as well.
Others we're likely able to follow around the edge. And some will have some surprises. It's too late to turn around, but I'm also not sure how much longer our luck will continue. We have just made it to the halfway point. There were a few moments there I thought we'd have to set up camp in the middle of a wet salt lake.
Yeah, stuck under the stars with bloody Ronnie Dow.
Dark as I can.
We're up early with the sun this morning. We'll get packing and we'll hit the tracks. We need to get to Bilbunya as soon as we can. We do have an option to jump on the beach just here, but it's too risky. So off to the salt lake, we utilise the sunlight so we can actually see what we're looking at this time. Wish us luck. Let's get packing.
Hey boys, look at all the water out there. I've never seen that much water ever out here. I think we should be okay because it's got that extra day to dry out. It is a lot warmer today. It's almost board shorts weather in winter.
So we're just cruising along the edge of the Salt Lake. Been going for a while now. There's plenty of water out there. I don't know where we've got to cross it, but it's probably the biggest salt lake that we've come across. Feeling thankful we didn't have to do it in the night time because I don't know what's ahead.
We've just crossed what I reckon is the worst part of getting to the beach across this salt lakes or clay pans, and it's just crazy how everything else was wet, but this section here, which has got many vehicles unstuck in the past, particularly on tag-along tours I've done out here, it's dry as. It's amazing how much wind can dry a track, and there are gusts of up to at least 50 kilometers per hour, I reckon. Like the whole car's rocking every now and then. This weather's so unpredictable down here. 30 degrees, wind all night, wind all day. So far, it's dried all the salt lakes out for us, which is great because that means we can go to the beach rather than doing that ragged track right there. All that does is scratch your car and avoids the dunes. So that way to the dunes, that way to the beach. Let's go.
That way to the bush.
Yeah, that way to the beach. Do it.
Let's go on the beach.
Seaweed. Seaweed might be an issue. The only way to find out is get down there. Looks like 2 more humps, boys. Oh my god, it's so blue. That is pretty damn colourful. The last 2 days, there's been a lot of colour around these salt lakes.
Oh wow, look at that, Ronnie. That's epic. And look at the sand dunes. You can see them from here.
I'm liking there's plenty of beach at the moment. When's high tide?
We're coming out of high tide at the moment. I'm looking, probably will get really narrow at some point, which it normally does. It gets pretty soft at some sections. It will feel good, but all of a sudden it catches you out. Also seaweed. It is crazy windy down here. I'm trying to keep the sand out of my mouth. Not really pleasant, to be honest, so I can't wait to get back in the vehicle.
Oh my god, man, look at that wind on the top of the sand dunes.
And an experience we'll never forget.